Hey guys, Mike the Vike here, back for yet another video. Today we're doing something a little bit out of the ordinary. I've been wanting to make this for literally years. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a bit of a gun guy. I used to make even range videos on this channel, but I kind of stopped doing it. Now Rust, of course, happens to have guns in it, and unfortunately there are so many things that just really don't make that much sense in this game in regards to kind of guns and how they actually work, that I would love to make a video showcasing these things. And just I worry that the devs don't even understand and might be doing this like unknowingly. Now do not worry, I'm not going to sit here pointing out every tiny little minuscule thing. I'm only pointing out the big heavy ones that are just hilarious. Let's start with my favorite one, the 8x zoom scope. I'll show you how this works in the game. You plop this thing on your gun, sits on the top rail, right? Nothing special. And boom, you've got a nice 8-power scope, okay? You can snipe kids, you've got a reticle of some kind, looks good. Alright, so it just so happens that I actually have one of these 8x scopes in real life, and I'll show you. Now ignore the gun, this really doesn't matter, just forget all that. This is the supposed 8x scope. Let me show you what it actually does. To put it simply, it's not a scope at all. It's only a magnifier. It's a 3x magnifier, and typically you put it behind a red dot like this. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute, but the idea is that you've got your standard red dot, right? 1x magnification. And then if you need some distance, you swing this on, and then boom, you've got some magnification. You would never, I'm sorry, but you would never use this thing on its own. That'd be more or less like holding up a magnifying glass. There's no reticle, there's nothing there. Okay, so I'm just going to set this up here so you can get an idea of what this looks like. As you can see, there's no reticle. It's literally, like I was saying, just a magnifying glass. No reticle, and it's only a 3-power, by the way. Now, it's interesting, you know, I do wonder why the devs chose this thing. Like, somebody obviously had to model this in the game. I guess ultimately they're trying to make the game look unique, right? Kind of find unique models. I mean, that's why, for example, they use an LR300 as their M4 so that it doesn't look like every other M4. Fair enough. And I guess they didn't want their scope to look the same as everyone else's scope. But this is just so obviously wrong. And also, I mean, alright, I could go on all day. This is a pretty specialized thing too. Like, this is a very, if we're talking post-apocalypse, the chances of you finding one of these is very slim. Not many people are going to run a build like this. Okay, next up is going to be shotguns in this game. Now, the Spaz 12 is a mystery of its own, and they animated a lot of the features wrong. We're not going to focus on that though, too complicated. I'm going to focus on the reloading of shotguns here. So, here's a demonstration. This is the semi-auto shotgun in the game. He's going to fire, right? And I'm going to top off, now so I'm going to reload. He pulls the pump back, rounds into the tube, and then pump forward, and he's reloaded, okay? Here's the pump action shotgun, basically the same. He's gonna fire, manually reload, and then pump back, rounds in the tube, pump forward, okay? Okay, for this one, I'm not gonna bother showing a semi-auto shotgun because the Spaz 12 is such a unique gun that a regular semi-auto wouldn't actually explain it right. For example, I'm gonna show this Norinco Chinese 870 clone sort of thing. Now, to demonstrate this, I'm going to be using shotgun shells, but I need to point out that these are deactivated, okay? This is a common thing to do. I'm too lazy to buy snap caps, if you know what those are. These function exactly the same. You can see here the primer's gone off. There's no pellets in here, there's no gunpowder, nothing, alright? This is completely safe. And just so I don't get bullied, it's hard to show on camera. There we go, the chamber's empty, alright? Okay, so the best way to show this is I'm going to replicate what they do in the game, show it to you in real life, and we'll see if it actually works. So what they do in the game is they pull the pump back, and then they grab their rounds and they load it into the tube. The thing is, I don't know of a shotgun that loads when the pump is back. So let me show you what's going on here. So this is where you load in rounds. Here, I'm gonna show you how you actually load this thing. you have the pump forward, okay? And then you put your rounds and you put them in the tube, okay? Nothing crazy. Really straightforward, just the main flaw there is that they pull the pump back to reload instead of just keeping it forward. Now, obviously, it is worth pointing out that, like, video games have a certain level of kind of creativity, right? If something looks cool, there's nothing stopping them from adding it in. It looks cooler to pull the pump back and load like that, right? I mean, you see it in movies, you see it in tons of video games. I just thought I'd point it out because the funny thing is there's lots of video games that get this stuff right and it looks hella badass, you know? Oh, and then another little flaw that is hilarious. So on the Spaz 12 in the game, when your player pulls the pump back to reload, you can see in the game that this piece here does not go back when in reality, the pump and this piece here are connected, like they communicate together, right? So that's just another tiny little flaw. Again, I don't want to be boring. I don't want to sit here pointing out every single annoying detail. I just want to point out a few, okay? I won't even bother how in a lot of the video games, the animator animates it so that the dude runs the action when there's already a round in the chamber. That's nothing new. Lots of games do that. But with the L96 in particular, they did a hilarious thing, which is just an oversight, I would hope. I'm going to shoot this thing, right? I'm going to reload. You can see here, he's pulling the bolt back, chambering a new round, and closing the bolt. Now, I'm going to shoot this gun until it's empty. Okay, so according to the bottom little thing, I've got 1 round left in the chamber and none in the mag, okay? So here's how this works. I'm going to fire, and now I've got a casing in my chamber, and my magazine is empty. Here's how the reload works. I'm going to take out the box mag, put in a new one, and now, magically, I've got a new round in the chamber! So, this is not an L96, but it's the same deal. This is a bolt-action rifle, detachable box magazine. Just to make it crystal clear, once again, I'm using deactivated shells. Oh, I guess I should show. So this is how it would really work. So let's say I just fired. I'm going to eject the empty casing. Boom. And now, let's say this mag is empty. I'm going to take it out, put a fresh mag in, and bolt forward, load the new round. Very simple. The thing is, I don't get why... Like, it's so easy to learn this stuff. I mean, you could learn this off YouTube, but I mean, in my opinion, the best way to learn this stuff is by doing it in real life. And actually, it's worth pointing out, little side note, you just can't beat real world experience with handling firearms. I know that there's tons of resources online and you can watch guns functioning. If you look back at like the changelog over the years in this game, they've constantly been making adjustments to weight. And what I mean by that is, let's say, the weight of the magazine when you take it out, the weight of pulling the slide back. Those little things, you won't be able to really get accurate to perfection unless you've done it in real life. And I can always tell a game when they just are watching YouTube videos or just have airsoft guns or something, they just get the weights wrong. So, I mean, it's just a little thing, like, it's too bad these guys, I mean, I don't know what resources they have, if it's only online or whatnot. But the best way to learn is just do it in real life, or hire someone, you know? I mean, I'm available. Man, I hope somebody finds this interesting. There's a risk here that you guys just don't care, but what the heck. Next up is the M92. This is an awesome little pistol in real life. Big fan of this gun. So, they get a couple things wrong here, mostly having to do with the exposed hammer. So, on deploy, I'll show you how this thing works. Pulls it out, and clicks the safety from safe to fire. Worth pointing out though, that thing on the back, I will circle it, is a hammer, and you can see that it's cocked. Okay, so I actually sold my Beretta 92 because Canada gun laws are whack right now and I don't know what's gonna happen, but anyways. So this is an airsoft M9, but functionally the same as a real 92. Okay, this is kind of hard to explain. Better that I just tell you how this gun actually works. This is a double action, single action, semi-auto pistol, okay? You have an exposed hammer on the back and it's connected to the trigger, all right? So to shoot this gun in double action mode, you are doing two things. You're cocking the hammer and also releasing the hammer. You can see I have to cock it and then it fires. So you're doing two things. If you want to do single action, let's just say the hammer's back. In this case, you're only doing one action. You're just pulling the trigger and releasing the hammer. Boom. Another feature is that this gun has a manual safety and also a decocker. What a decocker does is you just hit this and you can see that it made the hammer go to double action mode. So in the video game, they have this magical thing where when he deploys it, the gun is on safe and the hammer's back. And this just unfortunately is not possible. When you put the decocker on, the hammer goes down, okay? What they're trying to show in the game just is not possible. You can't have the safety on and the hammer back. It's just not a thing because it'll run the decocker. Now, some gun nut is going to say, well, Mike, not all models actually have a decocker, and I would say you're correct. But the model that they're showing in the game and the one that everyone's familiar with is not what they're basing this off of. They're basing it off of a standard 92 or M9, and that's how these work. But the thing is, I totally get it. They want it to look cool. There's a thing with the Thompson, which I won't even show, but clearly whoever animated it wants the player to kind of do something to the gun before it's deployed, just so that there's kind of some interactiveness and it looks cool, but really you're just doing more than is necessary. I feel like, I don't know, this is the fine line, right? I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think it really doesn't matter? Is this like stupid? I don't know where you draw the line with realism and things looking cool, you know? Now, I had a few more things to point out that just don't make sense, but we're gonna leave it there. If you guys wanna see more videos of me pointing out things that don't make sense in Rust, I'm happy to do it. I just wanna make sure that you guys actually enjoy this stuff first. So yeah, if you wanna see more videos like this, definitely leave a like on the video. Alright guys, that's all I got for you for this one. Definitely a different video than usual, but I just had to do it. I've been wanting to do this video for years. Like I said, definitely let me know what you think. I'm happy to make more if you actually want to see more of these. With that said, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.